Every January, men tell themselves this year will be different. They start strong, they go to the gym, they go and start the business, they start with all this momentum, they have this discipline, they have the clean habits, they stop the drinking, and by February, they didn't long getting to where they said they wanted to get. And there's a reason why most men fail to create real change. And by June, most men are back in the same cycle. They're tired, they're distracted, they are scrolling, they're surviving, they're just about getting by, living the same familiar life that they've always lived up until this point. Now, the stats don't lie. 95% of men fail to create change over a 12-month period. Now, the more worrying statistic is after 1 week, 25% of men give up from creating the change they said they wanted to make. After 3 months, it's 50% of men have give up from creating the change they said they wanted to make. After 9 months, it's 75% of men have give up. And after 12 months, it's 95% of men. And there is some missing ingredients, and there's some reasons why most men lose and don't win in how they're showing up in their everyday life. And that comes down to how you, as a man, are managing your systems. So it's not that you're lazy. It's not that you are a failure as a man. It's that you've never been shown the correct system and you've never been shown how to win. And that is how men last getting through this process. So today I'm going to be showing you exactly how we build a year that allows us as men to win our year, and not just to win our year, to win our life. Because there's many men out there in the world right now who are absolutely suffering and struggling now more than ever before. At the same time, although it's quite sad to say, there's never been an easier time for us as men to be successful and to win in the world, because the bar is so low. It's been set so low. So I just want you to, really let that land, what I've just been saying, and really feel into exactly how you, as a man, want to build a year that works for you. One where you don't burn out, one where you're not doing the same repetitive things, one that builds power, one that builds presence, one that brings peace of mind to your life. So just let that land for a couple of seconds and really feel into it, not just in your mind, but feel into your body. How would a year where you won the year feel like? Okay, because it's not too late right now to begin to implement the changes. So we start 2026 on an absolute high. And this is what I want for every man. So, if you've been running on fumes, if you've been stuck in the same loop year after year, if you have tried different modalities, you might have tried courses here and there, you've listened to podcasts, you've tried self-help, you've read the books, you've tried the diet, you've tried the gym, you've tried the fads with all these marketing gurus that are out there that are all just trying to capture your money, but they're not actually getting you to where you want to get to. And they're just sales reps, glorified sales reps that aren't actually in it to help you get to where you want to get to. Okay. If that sounds like you, then this session is for you. If this doesn't sound like you and you don't feel like you're ready to make the changes that you need to make, then I would maybe turn this off and go back to living the life the way you're living it. And when you're ready to commit to taking in this incredible life-changing and transformational information I'm going to give you on this webinar and masterclass, if you're ready, then let's stay on. If you're not ready, then when you're ready, come back when you can give this your full attention, because this is about men who are serious about creating real change in their lives. So we're going to step into the truth and expose the pattern and keep it real, fellas, okay? Because there's that much false information out there at the minute. We're going to keep it real. Most men are operating like machines. They're pushing harder. They're ignoring the warning signs. They're staying in the same cycles. Most men call this drive. What I call it is survival. Most men are living in survival. If we look at your system, you're in a survival state all the time, that we're needing these unhealthy coping mechanisms in which to turn to just be able to survive the life that we live in. So you don't need more motivation. You need a new system. You need a different system, and you need to understand the system that you've got, because all the willpower in the world will burn out. It's like a ship in the middle of the sea with a full tank of fuel, but without any direction or destination that it's heading towards. It's going to burn out, or you're going to end up going in circles. So the system won't burn out, but your system and the willpower will, because it has done up to this point, and there's a reason why you're here. So, like I say, I just want to go back through the drop-off stats in terms of how many men are dropping off being able to change. There's never been an easier time to make the change, and there's never been an easier time to be successful as a man, which I've already mentioned. So within 2 months, there's a 45% drop-off rate of men creating change. Within 3 months, 52%. Within 6 months, 75%. And after the full year, 12 months, there's only 5% of men who are creating the change that they want to make. So that means you might start off with all the best of intentions, all the motivation, all the willpower, all the momentum, but without certain systems and certain pillars in place, you're going to fall flat on your face, and you're not going to get to where you want to get to as a man. My job is to help you to understand that, and to help you to get to exactly where you want to get to. Now, the difference between those who fail and those who fall and those who rise isn't talent. Okay, it's structure, it's energy, it's brotherhood, and it's systems. So the transition of how we make this happen, I'm going to show you how this looks. So what I want you to go and do, if you haven't already, I want you to go and get a pen and paper for me, okay, or a pencil and paper, and pause this video and come back on when you've got that. And I'm just going to share the screen with you now. So I'm now sharing my screen, and what I want us to be looking at is, this is a little practice. Okay, this is a little practice that I want you to put into action for me. On Ireland, we've got an island which I call Burnout Island or Pain Island. This is where all your pain lies, all your challenges lie. This is like you're stranded on an island and you can't get off, but you can see that you go somewhere, but you're not too sure how to get off this island to get there. And you've tried different things, such as going to the gym, doing it on your own, this lone wolf mentality that all of us as men, face and live with. And you've tried to deal with your relationship problems, you've tried to deal with your coping mechanisms, your unhealthy vices, your drinking, maybe your drug taking, that you're trying to, stop all on your own. You might have tried reading books and podcasts and tried little courses here and there. You might have tried therapy, but all these different things that you've tried, you haven't got off this island. So we need to understand, what is it that is keeping you on this island. And usually for men, there's three big blocks that are stopping them getting off this island. So we need you to understand what them blocks are stopping you as a man from crossing this island of change. Okay. So what are the three blocks that you could identify that are stopping you from getting to where you want to get to? So, it could be, big challenge number one might be unhealthy patterns and coping mechanisms that you're using. It might be you're burnt out and you're working all the time. It might be relationship problems, your inability as a man to deal with what's happening in your relationship. It may be, your lack of discipline, your lack of motivation, your lack of structure, your lack of purpose as a man, your anxiety, your work in life, being in a job that you hate and you don't like. It could be a list of things. So I want you to understand what them three big blocks are. It could be your confidence, your lack of self-belief, whatever it is that comes true for you. I want you to write it down under what's blocking you on the left. Once you've written down the things that are blocking you, I want you to now write down, how's that affecting your life? How's that affecting how you're showing up as a man? How's that affecting you in a negative way? Like the challenges it's creating, the man it's stopping you from becoming, the man it's making you be. the pain that it's putting you in as a man. I want you to get really detailed on what type of pain is this creating in you as a man that is making you show up to this call, and it's making you show up to this webinar, and it's making you start to take action, because we need to really feel the pain as men. Because if you're anything like I was when I was really struggling, I was on my knees. I was down, I was out. Externally, I had everything I wanted, but internally, there was just void of emptiness that I couldn't seem to fill. And no matter what I did externally, it just would not fill up until I understood this method. So write down, the things, and take your time. Write down the, the effects that this is having on your life, these challenges. And you as a man, by the way, not fucking dealing with this. Okay. And I say this with the most love, but actually calling you full, as a man. How is this blocking you? Let's be brutal. Let's be honest, because we need to feel the pain inside in order to get us to start to move as men. Okay. Pain is a great catalyst. And if we're not in enough pain, we're not going to move. So we need to create enough pain so we create this shift. Now, after writing this down, what I want you to now lean into, I'd like you to really look at Breakthrough Ireland. So for you to break through and get across this river of change and get to where you want to get to with your life, we need to have a compass point as men. We need to know where we're going. We don't become destination driven, but we need to have a destination to aim at. Otherwise, we end up going round in circles and we don't get to where we want to get. So on Breakthrough Ireland, if you were to have your ideal outcome, okay, in 90 days, and I say 90 days because that's what we work with. It takes 90 days if you were working in which we will create rapid changes in your life and get you to where you want to get to. Okay. Now, I want you to write down what Breakthrough Ireland would look like. What is in your future? What is your vision? How would that look for you if you were living your ideal life? If you were showing up as the very best version, expression, and a man who's reaching his potential, how would that look for you? And I want you to write that down. So it might be that, you'd have money, you'd have a different job, you'd be living with purpose, you'd have fulfillment, your relationships would be good, you'd be having a work-life balance, you'd be a good father to your children and you'd be giving them time. You wouldn't be, you'd have healthy coping mechanisms in terms of how you deal with life. It can be a list of different things. You'd be positive, your mindset would be bulletproof, you'd be on point, you wouldn't be isolated anymore, you'd have a tribe of men around you, good, healthy men who could support you. You were looking to strive and reach your potential in your career. You maybe want to set up your own business. There's lots of different variables and ideas here, fellas, that we can use. And what I want you to do is to write down how that ideal vision and outcome would look for you. And when you write that down, I then want you to write down how this would change your life. If you were to be living your ideal lifestyle, how would this affect your life? Would this make you change as a man? Would this make you feel better as a man, more fulfilled? Would you be happier? Would you have more energy and vitality? Would you have a better work-life balance? Would you be a man who's in more flow with life? Would you have your fire back and your purpose as a man? Would you have tapped into this warrior energy that helps you get up of a morning and get after it? Like, how would that look for you? It's getting really clear. And again, feeling in your body how that would feel for you to be that man. Because we need, again, to create a shift in our mind and our nervous system and our subconscious that this is possible. So if you find yourself circling back to the negative, I want you to get back to the positive of how would this actually look, and how would it feel if you could move beyond the pain of the man that you have been and step into everything that you could be. So once you've written that down, just take your time, take a breath, feel into your body, and really allow yourself as a man to feel all in your body how being this man that you say you want to be would feel, and how being the man you are today, how that pain feels, but equally holding that pain, but also knowing that you can step into being this other man, that it is possible. So once you've done that, I want you to, I'm going to scroll down and we're going to draw a little map. Okay. So what I call these are the four masculine pillars. And what we need to understand with you right now is what your current vehicle is. So if you were driving a car and you had four tires, you had a great engine, you had the top of the range car, then we would say that we will get across this island because everything, your system is the vehicle, will get you to where you want to get to. But if you're not getting to where you want to get to, then there's something happening with the vehicle and the system within the vehicle that we need to change. So these four pillars are: power is number one, awareness is number two, compassion is number three, and transformation is number four. And what I'd like you to do now is I want you to draw this cross in the middle of two islands again. And what we're going to do now is we're going to score each one of these pillars. So I'm going to tell you what they mean. So if I'm talking about a man's power, I'm talking about a man's motivation, a man's discipline, a man's structure, a man's warrior-like energy, and the fire that gets him up of a morning, this vitality to get up, get after it. Now, some men can get up and get after it in the work environment, but getting up and getting after it with the family, they've got no energy for the family, that they've got no fire to bring life and breathe life into the family life because they're exhausted from the work life. So, when we're scoring this, be very aware that we're talking about in your whole life experience, not just in your work life. We're talking about your general structure, discipline, motivation, your habits, your routines, how on point is this? And also your fire. You're having to drag yourself through the day. Are you burnt out? Are you stressed? Or are you ready? Are you ready to get your sword out and go and do what needs to happen every day? So scoring that 0 out of 10 for me and where that is at for you. The next one, we're going to step into the pillar of awareness. So this is your mindset. This is your mental fitness. This is your belief systems about who you are, about where you're moving towards. This is your capacity to take control of your mind and engineer and navigate your mind to focus on what it is you want and to take control of the anxieties or the negativity or the maybe the thoughts or the intrusive thoughts or the anxieties or the depressions. How are we structured with our mind? Are you able to change your mindset? Or are you stuck in this sort of perpetuating pattern of negativity, but you're aware of it, which means that you're problem aware, but you're not solution aware because we can't figure a way out of it. Okay, so I used to be mentally very, very strong and resilient in terms of what I could push myself through, like a David Goggins mentality, but I was never happy. So I was trying to bulldoze my way through my mentality and through my warrior energy to get to where I wanted to get to, but I was miserable because of this. I couldn't control my mindset. I couldn't navigate my mind to where I wanted it to be. My mind was creating havoc and I was running away from it and trying to fix it by pushing outside. Okay, so being really clear on your level of mental well-being. Yeah, if you're anxious, your awareness is probably pretty low. We need to get these numbers higher and higher to get you to where we want to get to. So again, scoring this 0 to 10, where are you at mentally, your level of awareness? Okay. Next, we're going to move on to compassion. So compassion is a man's ability to be emotionally intelligent, emotionally attuned and felt in his own body, to be emotionally attuned to his family, to his work life, to the environment, but most importantly to himself. A man's ability to be playful, to have fun, to be free, to allow himself to, have pleasure in his life without losing himself to pleasure, to allow himself to be romantic and intimate with life. This is like really like this childlike wonderment that a man would have. And a lot of men can struggle with this energy to be open to the world, to feel anything, because we can be quite numb. We can be so disconnected. Women can think that we're uncompassionate. We've lost this fire that we used to have when we were 21, 25, where we'd be more of a jack of the lad and a lot more playful and had no worries in the world. Whereas now we feel a weight of responsibility on our shoulders. We feel like we're getting older and we can hit this midlife point where, there's a lot of questions being asked of men and what we want to step into, because we're stepping into the second half of our life for a lot of men. So it's important to understand, is this flame and fire still there? And is our heart still beaming with love and wide open and got this beginner's mind for life? Or is it shut down? Is it empty? Is it numb? Is it disconnected? Is it anxious? Am I not having fun anymore with life? Scoring this 0 out of 10. The next pillar is the pillar of transformation. So this is a man's ability to live a life of meaning, of purpose, of inspiration, and of power. And the only way we can do that is if we have a strong level of self-governance, that we can bring the other pillars online, that we have strong foundations, we have a clear direction, we have a big vision for where we're moving towards in our lives. We have a strong sense of self. We have we have a strong sense of sovereignty. We have got like a king energy where we are taking control of our own internal kingdom, but our own kingdom with our family, our own kingdom with our businesses, our own kingdom with our field of influence in our lives. So this again is a really important pillar where for a lot of men, it's not online. We might be very career driven, but our family and our internal world is falling apart, which means, we're not navigating and creating harmony in our own kingdom. We're creating chaos. So again, scoring yourself 0 to 10 on this. And most men, like I say, are, they're disconnected from the heart. The mind is causing havoc for them. They have either got lots of discipline where they're pushing and going in some direction, but they don't know where they're going, or they're completely flat and unmotivated and burnt out. And this king energy and this purpose and this mission is completely offline. What we need to do is score this 0 to 10 and understand this is the current vehicle you're in. And what I want to do from this practice is imagine we were to get these pillars even higher. So if we were to get power 10 out of 10, awareness 10 out of 10, compassion, you're feeling good, you're playful, you're not taking life so serious, you've got this fire back, this enjoyment, you've got control of your mindset. Like, I want you to really feel what would that feel like. You were a man who was living on purpose, who had direction, he was tapped into really healthy masculine energy, he was creating structure and discipline in his life for himself, for his family, he was taking care of his family in that way, not just providing, but showing up emotionally attuned and embodied and reaching his full potential in the world as a man. How would this feel? Just take a moment of how this would feel if you were showing up as this man and we had these levels high. Okay, that's what I want you to really feel into right now. So just even slowing your breath, feeling into your body, and even closing your eyes and feeling what this transition, if we were to make it, would look like. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish sharing the screen and we're going to go back to the main screen. Okay. So this is what we do. We get these levels higher. We create. Winners aren't born, winners are created. Okay. We create men to step into it, and we create the systems in which to get that to happen. So the way we make this happen and take you from burnout, stress, pain, and challenge and problems to being a man who has broke through the other side, who was living with mission, purpose, legacy, inspiration, showing up as the best father, partner, husband, businessman, boss, career-driven man. We do that by implementing a framework. Okay, so we basically, the three pillars of this framework that I want you to really start to think about is pillar number one is your energy. So we need to master your nervous system. And we do that through helping you understand your system. We master your routines, your structures, your movement, your breath, your sleep, your recovery. Because if your energy leaks, then everything leaks. So we need to get you on point with your structures, with your values, and get your life completely aligned with what it is that lights you up exactly and how you can control your internal systems. Because we have systems in work, yeah. So if we have systems in work, that's what makes everything run smoother. But we never look at our own system. So there's a lot of friction with our system because we don't understand it. But if I can help you to understand your system, we guarantee the results to get you to where you want to get to. So that's number one. Number two, within 90 days, so a 90-day cycle, we create the structure, the boundaries, the tracking of your progress, the execution of getting to where you want to, the clarity, which creates freedom in your life. So we build out a system designed to help not just you, but has helped hundreds of men. You know, look at the testimonials that I've done. It's helped hundreds of men. I don't need to sell this service. I'm just delivering a message to tell you, if this resonates with you, then we can make this happen by building the energy and then the structures within 90 days to make this happen. And lastly, big pillar that most of us as men are missing, the pillar of brotherhood. So we have accountability, we have challenge, we have truth. And this is where we as men grow faster, because we're not around the right type of men anymore. Most men are sleepwalking. They're in the pub. No, nothing wrong with going to the pub if you like a pint, but most men are in the pub. Okay? Most men are just disillusioned with work and football and stresses and sport, that they've got the head buried in the sand and they're not paying attention to what needs to shift for them internally in order to create the external change that they want. And they're not around healthy men that are helping them sharpen their own sword, because iron sharpens iron, and we need other men to hold us to a higher standard to help us to get to where we want to get. Okay, so what we create within Master, is the platform that I work from, is we create these three pillars where you become a master of your energy and your system. You become a master of your moments and your routines and your structures, and you become a man who is a part of a high performing and elite group of men that will help you get to where you want to get by executing the things you need to execute. And these men are bold. These men are courageous. These men are brave, because that's what it takes for men to step into this work. What we've been told as men is strong, is shutting down emotions, is actually weak. We want to be strong as men. So to be strong is to show up and feel your emotions, to be strong and address your problems in your life rather than burying your head in the sand, like I say. When these three align, you stop reacting, you start responding, and you start leading as a man. And that's what it is all fucking about, fellas. It's not about leading, following me as the leader. It's about me helping you to lead yourself in your life so you can be the king of your own castle. So what I'd like you to do before we wrap this masterclass up is I want you to close your eyes for 30 seconds. And it might feel a little bit weird, a little bit strange, because you've never done this before as a man. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, like I say, for 30 seconds. And I just want you to connect to your breathing. And I just want you to ask yourself this question. Where in your life are you pretending you're fine when you're not? Okay. And now I'd like you to write down one thing that you can commit to before the end of 2025 for the next 30 days. And this can be your starting line. What's one thing you're going to commit to? Okay, so as we're coming to the end of this webinar and masterclass, here's the truth. There's three things men will do. Number one, you will do nothing. You will go back to living the life that you've always lived up until this point, and you will not create the changes that you're going to make, and you're going to keep trying, maybe on your own, but you're going to fail. But you're going to do the things you've always done, and you're not going to break out of this illusion. Number two, you'll watch this masterclass, You might watch some more of my content or other types of content. Again, you will try to do this on your own. You will connect maybe with self-help work, watching podcasts, reading books, doing the same things that most men do. And again, within the next month or two, you'll fail because this is what most men, 95% of men, remember the stats from the start, this is what most men will do. And the third thing men will do, which will be a small amount of men who are ready, they will make the commitment. They will decide to go all in. They will decide that today is the day that they change and they make the changes they know they need to make. And they will book a call with me and they will speak with me and they will want to join Men's Inner Mastery Academy. And if they meet the criteria on that call, they will be accepted into Men's Inner Mastery Academy and their life will change. They'll become part of an elite group of men, high-performing men, a brotherhood and a tribe. The top 1 to 3% of men in the world actually doing this work, the trailblazers of a new path for masculinity, and they will start to live their dreams. They will start to be the man they wanted to be. They will start to show up in their relationships with their partner. They will start to show up for their kids in ways that they haven't. They will lead in their businesses with vigor and fire that they haven't done ever before in their lives, and they will thrive. And that's exactly what we do inside Men's Inner Mastery Academy. It's a full system for men who are done with playing small, who are done with the same thing and the same way of living and the same bullshit that we've been sold in life as the dream. They're done with the mundane way of living. They're done with the same thing. They're done with the pubs. They're done with the unhealthy coping mechanisms. They're ready to step into new change and to be the man that they know they can be, and they want to untap that potential. And this is a full system for men who are done. They're done burning out. They're done being stressed. They're done with all these problems, with the weight of the world on their shoulders. And they want to build sustainable strength, focus, and real purpose and change. So, Men's Inner Mastery Academy. This is where we go from scattered and stressed to disciplined, clear, and energized within 90 days. And this is your invitation from this point to watch this webinar, to win 2025 before it's even finished, and to DM me direct on Instagram or on the link on the email that this has been sent on, and book a call. Get on the phone with me. Take the chance to jump, to transform, because it takes one idea, one conversation, one moment that's going to shift your life, and shift your light. And then over the next 12 months, it will either pass away in the same way it always has, and you'll go through the same stuff and nothing will change, or this will be the best 12 months of your life. But it starts today. It starts with you, and it starts with us having a conversation, because you can't stay on the same island and expect to live the life that you say you want while you're stuck on the same island. It just can't happen. So if you're ready for me to walk every step of the way with you to get you to where you want to get to, then maybe, just maybe, it's time for us to have a conversation and to see if you're ready and you've got what it takes to step into Men's Inner Mastery Academy and be a man who is mastering himself. So have an amazing end to 2025, and I really look forward to working with you and speaking to you in the future soon. Bye for now.